Good afternoon. So semifinal na ta karon. Then in this term, we will tackle about ground handling. Then sa ground handling is naka-focus siya sa aircraft ground operation safety. So I will give you a synopsis of the material contained in the FAA handbooks or kaning Federal Aviation Administration with airframe and power plant. Labi na pohon kung mukuha mo og license. So duha man to ka ratings, power plant og kaning airframe sa aircraft maintenance technician. So okay, let's get started with safety, ground operation and servicing. So in this chapter, we will look at safety practices, ground operations and services around the aircraft while it is on the ground. So before we get into safety, so let's talk a bit about communications. So clear, concise communications is the utmost importance in aviation. In the illustration, you can see the International Standardized Aeronautic Alphabet. So mo ni ang Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet Kilo Lima, Mike November Oscar Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee, and Zulu. So A and Z. When an aircraft is nasa tarmac, so only rated pilots and qualified airframe and power plant technicians are authorized to start, run up, and taxi the aircraft. All taxiing operations are performed in accordance with applicable local regulations. An aircraft maintenance technician must be familiar pod sa kaning cabin system or kaning all the cabin systems. So while taxiing the aircraft, the pilot can see obstructions close to the wheels or under the wings and has a little idea of what is behind the aircraft. Consequently, the pilot depends upon the taxi signalman for directions. Kay many ground accidents naman ang na-occur ani as a result sa improper nga technique of taxiing an aircraft. A taxi signalman can assist the pilot around the flight line. In some aircraft configurations, the pilot's vision is obstructed while on the ground. The following section provides detailed instructions on taxi signals and related taxi instructions. The pilot receiving the signals is always some distance away and often looks out and down from a difficult angle. The signalman's hands must be kept well separated and signals are to be over-exaggerated rather than kanang magpa-cute-cute ka or risk making indistinct signals. So, mas maayo nga imo exage para ma-distinguish lang or mabasa lang dayon sa piloto kung unsa imuhang gipasabot sa imong signal. Then, if there is any doubt about signal or if the pilot does not appear to be following the signals, so use the stop sign and begin the series of signals again. The signalman must glance behind himself or herself often when walking backward to prevent backing into a propeller or tripping over a chalk, fire bottle, tied down line, or other obstruction. The standard position for a signalman is slightly ahead of and in line with the aircraft's left wingtip. As the signalman faces the aircraft, the nose of the aircraft is on the left. The signalman must stay far enough ahead of the wingtip to remain the pilot's field of vision. So if the signalman can see the pilot's eyes, so the pilot also can see the signals. At night, Taxi signals are usually given at night with the aid of illuminated ones attached to flashlights. Night signals are made in the same manner as the signals, with the exception of the stop sign or stop signal. The stop signal used at night is the emergency stop signal. This signal is made by crossing the ones to form a lighted X above and in front of the head. Ang signals nga ipakita ani nga slide nagrepresent a minimum number of the most commonly used signals. Mao ni ang flagman directs pilot to signalman in traffic conditions require. Signalman's position, signalman directs towing, stop, come ahead, emergency stop, cut engines. Then these signals are published in the Federal Aviation Administration Aeronautical Information Manual. So there are other standard signals. So whether this set of signals are or a modified set is used is not the most important factor, as long as each flight operational center uses a suitable agreed upon set of signals. The taxi signals to be used must be studied until the taxi signalman can execute them clearly and precisely. The signals are to be given in a way that the pilot cannot confuse their meaning. So start engines, pull chocks, insert chocks, slow down, all clear, left turn, right turn. Then kung night operation gani is magamit na og illuminated wand. These next slides illustrate some of the most commonly used helicopter operating signals. So mo na yung start engine, engage rotor, stop rotor, stop, move back, move forward, move right, move left. Most helicopter operations signals are different from airplane signals. Take off, landing direction, go up, go down, swing tail to right, swing tail to left. Here are the standard FAA taxi light signals used by control towers to control and expedite the taxiing of the aircraft. All taxiing operations are performed in accordance with applicable local regulations. Kung flashing green gani, ang meaning ana kay cleared to taxi. Then if steady red, ang meaning ana kay must stop. Then kung flashing red, meaning ana kay taxi clear of runway is in use. Then if flashing white, mo return ka sa starting point. Then kung alternating red and green, ang meaning ana kay exercise extreme caution. The International Air Transport Association's ground operations or kaning IATA ground operations manual sets the safety standards for ground support equipment at airports and to ensure ground operation activities are safely accomplished. Next, we will look at safety practices, ground operations, and servicing in the aviation field. So FOD is the acronym for Foreign Object Damages. Foreign object damage is any damage to aircraft, personnel, or equipment caused by any loose object. FOD can also be used to refer to any object live or not located in an inappropriate location in the airport environment that has the capacity to injure airport or air carrier personnel and damage aircraft. Some examples are coins, nuts, bolts, tools, cans, safety wires, concrete, gravel, wooden skids, plastic sheets, cartoons, netting, luggage, kaning luggage wheels and handles, paperwork, then sa live nga kuan is kaning birds. FOD can damage numerous aircraft components, engines, control system, or power supplies, etc. Motto, pick up any debris and place an appropriate area or dispose of properly. The aircraft have been damaged and destroyed due to FOD while operating on the ground and in flight. This happened with Air France Flight 4590 on July 25, 2000. The Concorde suffered a fatal tragic takeoff after an FOD on the runway hit and punctured a fuel tank and burst into flames. The aircraft crashed, resulting in the death of 113 souls. So let's watch the video na lang on how the iconic aviation brand marked a turning point.
How much fuel have we used?
Flight engineer Gilles Jardinot keeps a vigilant eye on fuel consumption.
We've got 800 kilos.
Concorde burns through it at an astonishing rate. In the short taxi to the runway, the plane's 4 engines have already used as much fuel as the average car uses in 6 months. Booking a seat on the famed jet requires deep pockets. The return fare to New York costs more than $9,000.
It was not something unaffordable for those people we had on board. Some of them, I tell you, they didn't even know how much they were paying.
Air France 4590, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
4590, cleared for takeoff. 26 right.
The tower controller today is Gilles Longelin.
I was stationed in the southern control tower, which has a very good view over the 2 runways that we use. This day was the same as usual. I gave him the takeoff clearance.
The first officer tells the captain they've reached V1, or decision speed. They're now going too quickly to abort the takeoff.
You cannot stop anymore. You have to go on. You have to continue takeoff, whatever happens.
Watch out!
Suddenly, the plane begins veering left. The flight engineer urges the captain to abort the takeoff, but it's too late to stop. Captain Marty lifts the supersonic jet into the air. Gilles Longelin realizes he's now watching a disaster.
This was a very unexpected situation to see flames on an aircraft that is departing on the runway. You don't have time to lose, so immediately I've pushed the red button, which is a button for alert.
4590, you have flames behind you.
Roger!
The plane is engulfed in flames.
Failure, engine 2.
Engine fire procedure.
Captain Marty struggles for control as the engineer shuts down the burning engine and activates a fire extinguisher.
What's the airspeed?
The plane's airspeed is now dangerously low.
The airspeed.
Something is happening. Something that is not covered by training. Something that in pilot career you don't want to face.
First Officer Marco wants to head for a nearby airport.
Le Bourget!
But the crew can't outfly the fire that is rapidly consuming their plane. The supersonic marvel of modern aviation.
No!
Slams into an airport hotel.
Oh mon Dieu.
Like you see kind of big, like a big mushroom of smoke. I think until the very last moments where I was thinking that something will save the situation.
As you can see, FOD is involved in many economic losses in engines, tires, and aircraft and tragic accidents. These are the recommendations for ground operations regarding FOD. The floor work areas around the aircraft must be kept clean of FOD at all times. The airstrip, ramp, and airways of the aircraft must be kept clean of FOD. The areas used to perform engine run-up must be kept clean of FOD. So no person is allowed to leave MEC area unattended. The entire work area should be cleaned immediately before and after completing a task. So mao no sa FOD, i-practice jud ang clean as you go. Then monitor ang imuhang mga personal belongings. Then keep and account for all your tools, hardware, and equipment. So matakol ra ni nato sa next slide. Then last is dispose of trash properly. The next slide, any tool left on an aircraft is potential FOD. Para safety lang, so there must be a tool control. So tool control strictly enforced or kanang strictly nga i-implement. So all tools must be inventoried. Inventory is subject to periodic inspection by aircraft maintenance and or quality assurance personnel. So mga nanglan jud og kaning quality assurance personnel. So report any tool to aircraft maintenance and or quality insurance or quality assurance personnel. So loss of tool can down an aircraft until found. So no operation, so di jud magpa operate sa aircraft kung di jud makitaan ang tool. Base na niya sa engine ba mo magka major problem niya sa kuanon eroplano, mo dapat pangitaon jud kay possible FOD man gud na ang kuan ang kanang tool nga wala makit-i. So next, personal protective equipment. So mao ni ang in short, PPE. So this is a mandatory type of equipment that employees have to use or wear to protect themselves from the risk in their work environment. So there are various hazards man gyud sa airport, labi na diri sa apron, kanang noises sa aeroplano, labi na kani auxiliary power unit niya kusog makay nag noise. So para ma-protect lang, mag-wear lang ka og kanang air muff or kanang air plug. So motto, you should be equipped with hearing protection, hand protection, and foot protection. So here you see the safety equipment that must be used during ground operations. So first, kaning wands or wand light. Kung at night man gani ang operation, or illuminated wand. Then air protector, reflectorized vest, safety glasses, safety shoes, safety gloves, then safety harness kung work at heights, then safety helmet kung recommended lang. So next meeting we will cover ground support equipment as part of the ground handling. Then basin maka-discuss pa ta sa aircraft jacking para mahumanta sa discussion ani atong airframe and engine inspection nga sa semi-final nga coverage.